All right. Welcome back to the Howard Experience Show, MINDHEAD series with Chris Shelton. You're in for a good treat today. We'll be talking about the positive mind, making the impossible possible. We were starting this show last week, but we had some technical difficulties, so we had to reschedule for actually this week. And we're setting everything up right now. I'm just going to check my sound. Again, if you're just tuning in right now, welcome to the Howard Experience Show. If you're watching tonight or later this week, again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And we got a couple announcements. I'm going to just play some music in the background. I'm going to check my visuals on my side as well as my sound. And we'll wait till Chris jumps in and we'll get this conversation started. Once again, this is the Howard Experience Show coming to you, streaming live from Guam, USA. Welcome. All right. Sound is working. We're good on that end. We're going to check to see if Chris is going to be coming in about 10 o'clock, and we'll get this party started. I'm going to turn down my music a little bit. Again, we were supposed to do this show last week, but we ran into some difficulty on both sides. Whoa. Yeah, we ran into some difficulty on both sides, and we had to reschedule, so that's what we're actually doing today. And again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming in, getting all the great feedback and all the great interaction from all the guests coming in on the show. We got some good guests coming up. The lineup's pretty good. I'm not going to mention their names just yet until we can actually get some of those ads together. But just to give you a little narrative on who's going to be showing up pretty soon on the show. We have a good friend of mine. It is a she. She kind of falls into the category of some of the things we're going to talk about today. Since she had some trials in her lifetime that we're going to talk about, that I think you'll find very interesting. Deals with faith as well as the strength of the mind. And again, those are some of the major things that we push here at the Howard Experience, as you know, freeing your mind, no boundaries. So she is scheduled to come on the show next week. We got two other individuals coming on the show that I've been working with, that I've been corresponding with. One is a young entrepreneur. You know him in the local community. I'm not going to say his name yet. Again, we want to kind of give you a little taste today, what is coming soon. But you'll be very interested in what he has to say and the successes he has had in his career so far, as well as a prospect for the new government. As you know, there's an election this year, and we have a prospect of a senatorial candidate that has agreed to come on the show, but I still need to confirm some things with him. So, 3 guests lined up for the end of this month, as well as going into June. I think the guest list is starting to develop, and I'm sending out invites to others to take part in this new conversation we're having with the Facebook Live technology, where we can do split screen and get a lot of different perspective and talk about things. But today's talk is the MINDHEAD series with our co-host Chris Shelton, and I believe he has come into the room, and I'm going to try to send him the invite. There he is. And there we go. There is Chris. Half a day. Just in time. Excellent.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody about kind of where we were at with the show last week, and how we had to reschedule. We had some issues with some thunder and lightning on your side as well as my side, and I think we fixed most of those issues because weather's actually very good today. Very good.
That's good. It's been pretty much raining on and off since then, since I talked to you.
Really?
Florida's like flooded,
Flooded.
but well, it's hard to tell if it's a big deal or not. I haven't been in any community in this state where if it rains for more than 30 or 45 minutes straight,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how hard.
Uh-huh.
The streets, it's flooded somewhere.
It's flooded.
I mean, it's like, I don't know, the drains don't work, sewage system, something, I don't know, I guess we've just paved over like 90% of the state.
That was probably it. That's probably it. Usually those things happen when you deal with infrastructure. You know, they're saying they're putting the money onto these certain things, but next thing you know, somebody's driving away with a nice Bentley, nice Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that happens a lot in the States, and I had forgotten that because I lived on Guam for so long that I never saw any. Yeah, that happens a lot in the States, and
well, hold on, I had
forgotten that.
Click off my sound on this side real quick. Okay, we're good. Excellent.
Yeah, I think governments have issues with that everywhere. It seems like
it's just a thing we have to get through. As you know, we have elections this year in Guam, and
maybe you can vote through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that we as a people are seeing these days, and how people are communicating, through social media, through activism, and all those kind of things. It's encouraging to see the effort that people are voicing their opinions and actually pushing change, because there's no real way to hide some of these things now. Now a lot of these things are out in the open that they couldn't do in the past. So that's pretty cool.
That's right. And another cool thing, we're doing it right now, and we're not the only ones doing it, and that's great, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Finally, it seems like people are actually communicating with this device instead of just yelling at each other. Or, I get to say whatever I want, and I can turn you off.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye. And then the rest of the world's going, that mother, But using it like this, we can talk, and people can realize that, hey, man, look, I thought, maybe we weren't talking about that stuff at work because I was the only one thinking like that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Other people are thinking this too, and so really all we have to do is talk to each other and decide what path we want to take.
Yeah.
And we, the people, can take that path.
Definitely. And the other great thing is people are like you said, these voices that usually are kept quiet, or they only talk, amongst few, now have access to not only hundreds but millions and millions of voices, which is actually a good, and it's with the blessing comes the curse, because it can turn a little bit sour.
We're trying to focus on positive communication.
Definitely, positive communication, solution based, and that's
the kind that makes a difference and makes your life better.
Yeah, hopefully it will, because as you know, and as well as I know, the only person that can change those things is the watcher, is yourself. As much as we talk, or other guests that come on the show, and you're getting all this knowledge and experience, what have you.
New thoughts, new ideas, a new way to look at something. But you still have to act.
You're freeing your mind, like we always like to push. Yeah, if you don't take those initial steps to make those changes, then the only person that's going to lose is yourself.
Yeah. I can't wait to get out there and reconnect with some.
Is that your you got a fishing hat there? Is that what you're wearing? Some kind of
no, it's just I wear it around the yard when I'm working.
Nice.
But it is from there.
Coolness. Yeah, I was telling the viewers earlier, before you came on. We got some good guests coming up, lined up for the end of this month as well as the beginning of June. Jolyn. Jolyn is set up for next week. While you're here, we're going to kind of talk about her story, which
A super cool person.
totally cool, way way above the curve, and a lot of great things to learn from her.
He's really really good.
Yeah, specifically. Then we have two other gentlemen that are coming on. One is an entrepreneur, young entrepreneur, as well as a potential new senator in the government that I've been in correspondence with. I'm not going to say their names just yet until we can get the ads up to give a little suspense to the whole showness, so to speak.
Who could it be?
Exactly. You're just gonna have to tune in. You're just gonna have to tune in and check it out. But again, today is Chris and I's regular MINDHEAD series with the Howard Experience. We kind of talk about things that are not usually spoken to in the water cooler around the campfire, but definitely things that you may be wondering about. We've hit a lot of topics.
I don't know if we can jump back into the stream, but last week at this time a whole bunch of cool stuff was going on.
Yeah.
And
well, let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, well, wade me in.
Wade me in. Tag. Ding.
Yeah. Wade me into the water.
Where should we start?
Well, it was neat to be able to hook up, try out the other app style thing.
Yeah, the Zoom.
And you might have mentioned something about it at the beginning or whatever. I don't think we have that perfect, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was neat to be able to, I'm happy we found that, and it'll be cool to work a couple of those things out, because maybe we can get like 4 or 8 people
on the screen.
Actively engaged in a good conversation.
4, 8. I think that there's 2 softwares, the Zoom that we talked about, as well as
20 or something.
Yeah,
right?
The other thing I was looking at was this other app called Believe Live. So those are things I'm interacting with to actually see if we can start as we move into the future. Get some more heads on the screen, so to speak. And how it would work is you'd have like one person that would have like a main screen, and you had 3 other parts and people chiming in. But we'll see what happens.
Neat. Well, it's neat that for me, anyways, and certainly it's got to be that way for plenty of people. It's easier to continue a conversation through speech than it is through
text,
like typing, and I'm posting.
Yeah,
I'm posting something with, and it's cool that it's pretty fast, but to actually communicate your message, your mind's so fast, and your thoughts flow, so your mouth can keep up faster than your typing can.
Exactly.
Mine can, anyways.
Exactly. And that's more because we did that with that new gentleman, with 3 of us, when we were talking about some of the cannabis issues, and it'll grow. It'll grow.
Yeah.
And,
and certainly because you may hit a vein of something, and now all of a sudden, and it's Tom, Joe, Dick, and Harry over here, and Bob, and it's tough to keep up with otherwise. But it's cool that we can do that. I don't know if we try not to put parameters on what we want to talk about and stuff, but we're on the verge of figuring out a way to with purpose wander. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through the and
curiosity.
And people watching. Yeah, and people watching now are helping us guiding us through it too.
That's how we do it.
But boy, I tell you, with just the connections of talking to, oh my gosh,
Brain
I forgot
fart.
his name. Yeah,
Augie.
Augie.
Yeah, Augie.
And that you had spoken also with like the people from Palau
Yep.
and the Pohnpei Surf Club.
Yep.
I mean, it seemed like just in a matter of a day or two, all of a sudden there was like 5 or 6 people interested in talking about this and communicating with each other. And that's kind of cool to see a little group come together quick.
Stirring up the mix.
And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to. Another cool thing is you know, our communication is going to get real easy, real fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll be able to, you know, really hammer out some whatever it is we need to hammer out and experiment with some stuff, you know, without some sort of time delay, time zone difference or anything.
We'll
like that.
we'll definitely have a good flow, especially when you're able to communicate, you know, through the video, because you can,
Yeah.
you know, something like this is much more conducive to the growth versus, like you said, text or email. It's right there.
Right.
It's instant. You can see facial expressions, and you know,
I can't be the only one that thinks that. I can't be the only one that thinks a sentence in his head and then types it out and goes, "Well, that's not really the way I'm trying to say it."
Not yet, but you know, soon there'll be voice technology. Actually, there is voice technology already that can kind of match. There's still some potholes, and I think we talked about this in a previous cast. But it's going to get quicker and quicker. But you know, like we had talked about, the so-called face-to-face is always the best way to do business. Even in what we used to do in our previous careers, you know, you go out and you try to sell something. You know, you don't call them on the phone.
I mean,
you look them.
Technology's fantastic.
Yeah, you look them in the eye.
Humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we perceive so much in a personal interaction. You know, there's so much going on there that's unspoken.
Yeah, definitely.
But
definitely, and all that comes with is the how you think, and what type of thoughts are going through your mind, and you know, how those thoughts are translating into language, as well as you know, the different choices that you make, or definitely the people that you influence. And again, that mindset, you know, which what we talked about, the positive mind, plays a huge role in how that kind of transpires, and you know, the things that happen with people around you, as well as your own life.
man.
What you
Here we go.
Here we go.
My youngest.
Yeah. As you manifest these things.
Is right in the thick of the whole Marvel superhero action movie thing, right?
Nice.
This and that, and she's a reader, so you know, the video images, the movie's like cool, but it's not enough. She like gets a book and reads about Thor and tries to, you know, find out about, you know, what's the history, where's these people, you know. And so tonight she was like, "Dad, do you believe in good and evil?"
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, do you mean,
what do you mean?
Good?
Yeah.
Do they exist like at all? Like,
yeah.
Is there a difference, and are they two separate? Is there good and evil?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." She goes, "I'm not sure I do." And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Isn't there just perspective?" And so I thought about that for a minute, and I'll agree with that. However, so like that is a neat place to get caught up, right? It's comfy to sit there. It's just perspective. You know, we say in America that the terrorists are evil.
Yeah.
But terrorists over there think that we're evil.
Yeah.
You know, and really, if just, you know, placed in a room, neither one could prove the other empirically, you know, correct. So I mean, perspective, right? Yeah, but if let's say you have the choice to interact with someone and for absolutely no benefit to yourself, it's just an interaction.
Yeah.
And you'll gain nothing from it. If you choose to interact in a way that harms the other person, that could be construed as evil. And if you choose to interact in a way that enhances the other person or helps them in any way anything other than harming them, then that could be considered good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, so consider this, right? So you're Thor, and you're kind of above all of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
You don't really have to get involved. You could just watch it play out. It's of no consequence to you, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you choose to get involved, because it matters to you not one way or the other. So you could just harm them. You could just end it all and kill everybody. And that would make you evil.
With a snap of the finger.
Right. But if you choose to get involved and it's not going to help you in any, this enhances your life like zero. You're above this anyways.
Yeah.
But you're helping the general well-being of others, then you're good. And it's a choice. You can do either one you want.
Yeah.
You're like above it. And so there's something to the perspective thing, because as Einstein taught us, things are relative, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's all relative to your perspective. But there's also, I think, somewhere down at the, way quantum physics, you can go left or right, but
Yeah.
you're going to go left or right. There's a left and a right,
And there's a choice, your free will. What are you gonna take? It definitely all falls into play. And I like that thought process of what is good and evil. And to add on to that, I used to use in my leadership positions the term tough love, where you'd have to to get a message across, to prove a particular point or to push an initiative, you'd have to look at the situation in a certain way where you knew that the majority of the people that you're leading would look at it first off face value as, man, this fucking sucks. Why are you doing this? Well, what are you doing to us? Which in turn would turn on from my perspective, would turn on a switch, which would motivate that person to a certain level. And then that's when I would come back in and go, hey, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and kind of see where you took yourself with the initial reaction. Then from there, it's understood, and it even takes it to a deeper level, because now they're part of the solution and they're part of the process, and they actually learn something along the way. And I've always
and something that's not really quantifiable and not specific to that job.
Yeah.
It's general life knowledge type stuff.
Definitely, experience and one of the things I always try to instill in people and ask them is, because there will come a point where they would definitely see the light, so to speak, and go, that's why you fucking did what you did, huh? That's why you did that little light bulb. That's kind of one of the artworks that we used on the ad this week. And my only response was, if that's how you really feel, then the only thing I ask is that you take that lesson and you teach somebody else, because at some point, you're going to come into a situation, especially in leadership, business, or other stuff, where you're gonna influence others below you. And definitely the way to do it is to not always be the guy that kind of just opens all the doors and holds the hands. Is the guy that goes, hey, there it is. This is how you do it.
That's a door over there. What are you gonna do about that door?
This is how you do it. Guess what? Go get it. And if you fall along the way, you scrape your legs and break arms and stuff, guess what? That's part of the process. That's part of the
Yeah.
process. But always know that, Big Brother is hovering and is there to definitely, if you fall too far, that hand's going to come down from oblivion and and pick you
Yeah.
up and kind of give you a slap sometimes. That's happened to me in my development. Um, and it's a good way to look at it, and that's all,
Yeah, me too.
all in the head too. Especially at certain stages of your life, you see things a different way. Um,
Oh my God.
you know,
And the longer you're here, the crazier you think you were. You're like, man,
I did those fucking things, man.
why I can't believe I used to think like that, or
Yeah,
whatever the case may be. Things just change.
yeah, yeah. It's it's everybody should write a book.
That's right.
you know, there should be.
Not only I mean, for themselves. That's like that's a good exercise to do. Like, you've heard maybe of a writing class where the teacher might ask you to write your own obituary or something. You got to think
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
and then all you thinking about it, like, yeah, man, is this like what I'm going to be remembered for? And
yeah, yeah.
it makes you. It's a little deeper exercise than just writing a paper.
Even like a journal, journal I would recommend. And if it's not, some people will do the journal, the daily journal, the diary. Today I woke up and did this
Right.
and that,
Monday.
which is fine. Um, but I think with what we have today that's offered, even a newer way to keep a journal, to actually to
Video diary.
yeah, video diary, video vlog yourself, and keep those
That's a good
files
idea.
on a hard drive, in a flash drive, in the cloud, and go back to it at certain times of the year or certain moments in your life. Because eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to build this database, and then you're not going to see any real relevance.
Yeah.
Even the first couple of months, you're just going to be like, okay, because it's not easy, especially the state.
It's growth,
Yes,
man. It's like growing on the wall.
yeah,
You don't think you're growing on Monday, but
especially
6 months from now, you measure yourself again. You're
yeah,
like, shoot.
yeah, and it teaches you discipline. Teaches you, for instance, if you have a certain routine, that'll keep you in check. And one of the things I do, I don't really keep a video log. This is some of these shows that I do and some other things I do. That's kind of my impression of my video log. But I do keep notes on certain events that happen in my life, and I usually reflect on those. As sometimes often, sometimes I won't even touch it. And recently, I opened up my particular notes, and I was reading some of the things from what's happened last year, and I'm like, wow, that was a year ago. These are the things
Okay, yeah,
that
yeah.
I was I was going through, man. Wow, and look at where I am today. And as you build those processes, um, as part of your experience, as part of your story, so to speak, it gives you insight that the only person that can really tell you, the only real expert that can give you that feedback you need is yourself. And
Yeah.
you're gonna see the pitfalls and how your mind was thinking at the time, because definitely, some of those notes that I have, you could see where it was negative. You could just kind of feel like, oh wow, this was a bad point.
You could tell by what you wrote that you weren't feeling good.
What I wrote, or how I was writing, or the frequency of what I was writing, or whatever was down there. You can definitely take that and go, wow, what caused these things? Because part of the positive mind, making the impossible possible, is seeing those different pitfalls that you may have, learning from them, and continually pushing yourself, going, hey, let's not get back into that rut that I remember I was in a previous episode of the James Howard story. you're
I
gonna
think it's a
you're gonna have more. Definitely, it's not gonna stop. But as you develop, you not only can get better at crafting yourself, but tell the story. And that's another part of the Howard experience. We're telling stories here, man. Telling stories
yeah.
to communicate.
That's an important lesson to learn, and I feel like I had to kind of self-teach. I'm talking about reflection.
Yeah.
Really, I was kind of forced into the the deepest reflection of my life. When I really had to start thinking about stuff, that was kind of like Godsmack. Like, yo, man, check this out.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not, dude, this is what you're going to be checking out for a little bit. But again, now looking back on that, I wish someone had told me as a young man that, and maybe they did, and I just didn't listen.
Yeah.
That there's no like time in your life. I'm 21 now. I better let me take a time out here and reflect on the last 2 years and see how I've changed since high school. And
yeah,
okay, now I'm 25, and let me assess myself thus far and see where I've made. It takes some sort of moment, where you're like, whoa, what? Holy crap! What am I doing?
Yeah.
Or how did that happen? And then sometimes not even that makes you reflect far enough back. You're just stuck in the moment, like, grr, what's going on here right now? You know what I mean? But really, you need to be looking back over here to figure out why you're here. So maybe that's a good something to take away from today. At least for me, is the importance of that, being able to reflect honestly with yourself, and because I am pretty good at it now, but was forced into it, and I kind of I think I could have made better choices in my life had I been a little more reflective a little sooner. I was pretty hard charging, just go, go, go.
Yeah.
That hurt. Ouch. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, some of those situations you probably didn't feel it.
Yeah. And sometimes, that's okay to be driven a little bit, but it's rarely a bad thing to reflect on your own actions.
Yeah.
And
have the strength as well.
Yeah.
Remember.
That it helps keep you
Yeah.
positive, because it doesn't let you live too long in a bad way.
With the bad juju. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're thinking about your actions from time to time, like how was today, or whatever it is that your method of reflection gives you a chance to assess, like, whoa, that was, that's not what I intend to be going on over there. Hey, that worked out fantastic. I need to double those efforts, but let's back way off over here, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But if you never take time to, it's Saturday, let's have lunch and talk about the week.
Yeah.
If it's just go, you can get kind of rutted.
Lost. One of the good expressions is truth hurts, and sometimes you have to face whatever your truth is.
That's my truth.
Yeah. and come to terms with it. And that's usually some of the steps that, in my experience, and some of the things I've seen, is what pushes people to inebriate themselves into different things, to deflect the search and truth.
Yeah.
To go,
For sure.
No way, man, that's not me. Yeah. So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Woo! We're gonna live forever. That kind of
not
stuff.
Us, right?
Exactly. And like you said, that all comes with definitely your life experience, what you've done, because between the ages of 20 and 30, that particular time in my life was, the Camaro with AK-47s and
Yeah.
the rocket
I
ship
boarded.
the rocket
I
ship
might have.
to
Yeah.
the
I might
moon.
have jumped on a rocket ship at about age 19,
And it
man.
was just like woo boom, man.
I
And
hit a planet at about age 35.
exactly. And you look back and you said it. You said it correctly. There could have been other things I would have did that would have. But
Yeah.
my rebuttal back to you is is you wouldn't be the person you are today, knowing the things you know, if you hadn't gone through those particular circumstances
Sure.
the way it had happened.
I
Because
mean, I understand the timeline. I'm
yeah,
just saying, all things being equal,
yeah,
if I could have just maybe thought about this one decision for a little bit longer,
yeah.
I might have said, maybe I won't do that, or
But
shoot, I'm doing that again,
why
or
even
something.
why even bother though, Chris? That's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm saying. There's other.
Oh no, I don't worry about it. I've listen in
Well,
the whole.
you may not be.
If you've examined yourself hard enough,
Yeah,
you're past that.
but we're probably definitely not in that mode. But I'm also trying to think of the viewer that's watching this, and
Yeah,
maybe they're going, oh shit, that
yeah, that's true.
that's definitely something I need to take in consideration. Or there's somebody that they know that may have these certain thoughts, and
Yeah,
they can
I'd
contribute
like to
to.
clarify. I'd like to clarify and say that, um, I've had really high highs and really high lows, and I've walked the valleys in between, man. And I freaking enjoyed the walk. I did. I lived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't skip out on trying it or taking a chance or should I go for it? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah,
And
that's what I'm talking about.
and so I don't regret that. I just think that I also could have had an easier life for myself had I been a little more reserved,
Yeah,
but that wasn't me. That's not what I did.
yeah, yeah.
I'm here because that's the way I was, and here I am. This is me, it's like that,
Take it or
But,
leave it. Here
you
it
know,
is.
I mean, I'm not trying to sell nothing. You came up to me.
You came up to
You
me.
know what I mean?
I guess
So,
another way I like to put it as well is, um, with through those different moments that you develop and learn, and you're going to pick up on people in front of you, ahead of you, people that are wiser and are telling you things like, hey,
right,
you
right.
shouldn't do that. But at the time you're like, oh yeah, this is what I think about that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
statement.
And you shouldn't do this, that, or
You
the
know
other.
what? You need to turn on the radio. So something of that
Yeah,
nature.
yeah.
And it's funny how things kind of transition themselves. And I try to keep myself uh, aware of that. And when I'm, because now the
You're a
table,
dad.
yeah, now the tables have turned a bit. They've flipped. So when I'm looking at that type of situation now, I'm just like, well, wait a minute. What am I gonna?
Yeah, hold on
I
here.
better, I better tweak this a little and not, say anything that I haven't done personally, because that would kind of be
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hypocritical of myself. And some of the things I'm learning is, why not, again, stay as close to the truth as you can, but also, throw in somewhere in that dialogue, these are kind of the things that may happen, and you need to be aware of that. What you choose
Oh,
is definitely up to you. Um,
listen, you can and should, you can verify this with all three of my kids. I, from birth, every story about me has been like, look,
look,
the great thing about being a dad is that I can teach you.
yeah,
What the most awesome thing in life is that you can learn. You don't have to make my mistakes.
yeah, yeah,
So the stories that I tell, I'm going to tell you what I did because I don't want to lie to you. And
yeah,
I'm also going to tell you which ones worked out fantastic,
yeah,
and there were plenty that didn't. And it's my hope that you look at the ones that didn't and go, okay, if I'm ever faced with that situation, didn't work out well for dad,
yeah.
you know, it seems about the same, maybe I won't do that.
That would be the hope.
Yeah, but
'Cause-
otherwise I have to lie to them, you know.
yeah, I wouldn't.
And I wasn't prepared to do that.
That path is a little sketchy for me. Even if it's a white lie and it's kind of like,
Yeah,
I better
it's
not.
just
It's
there just isn't a time when a lie is better, you
well,
know. It might seem like it at the time,
it's
and sometimes it helps accomplish a goal.
yeah,
You need to get this done, and then it'll all be clear, and there's no hurt, no harm, no foul kind of thing,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But as a general rule, it's better to just, hey man.
I'd rather hear the bad news first. Then we can talk
this is
about
gonna suck, but
then talk about the good stuff later. Just
yeah,
just
here's the
just
bad
to
stuff,
put it
right?
on the
It's like
table
this.
and get it done.
There's this mess of crap, all right? And at least we all know about it. If we don't want to deal with it,
Yeah.
that's cool. But I ain't hiding any of it from you.
Yeah, don't hide it. Don't hide it, because I've seen that. I've seen those those
Those kids grow up. You have friends. You have
yeah.
coworkers. You've known these people that have been, they're just mad
I'll tell you.
and they don't trust.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story of one of my friends back in the day when I used to live in California, and we lived in the same neighborhood. His family was a little more well off than mine at the time. His dad did some insurance business, so he was getting some pretty good money. So with that statement, in the neighborhood, he was kind of like on the hill with the bigger house and the Mercedes and that type of thing. And we had known each other since we were in elementary school, and we had hung out. And at a time in elementary, you don't really think about these things, right? You're just kind of chilling with your neighborhood kids,
Man.
riding bikes, doing that kind of stuff. And as we grew older, the material things started to come into play.
He had Atari.
Yeah, he had that, and he had this, and he would at some
and
point.
HBO.
Yeah, at some point, when I've reflected on these moments, I obviously I didn't see it at the time, but when I've reflected on these moments, that was kind of his curve of his mindset started to change, where at times he would come to my house and go, "Hey, check out what I got," or "Look at my things." And all these,
Right.
and I always used to kind of have this funny look, like, "Okay, I'm happy for you, good."
Yeah.
I never,
Cool.
I never was like, the reaction I think that he was looking for was, "Oh, you're better than me.
You're so lucky.
You're so lucky. You got
Yeah.
the blah blah blah." And one of the moments in truth that we had was one day we were going to school. And we all walked to the bus stop, right? And that particular year, Michael Jackson was the fucking, that was the thing. And Michael Jackson,
Red leather
yeah, the red leather with the zipper and
Yeah.
the whole garb,
Eddie Murphy
right?
style too.
Yeah, and this was one of the first days of school. I think it was the first day of school. And as you know, the first day of school, you go out with your parents and you get the new clothes for school, the new, whatever it is. And
You're decked out.
yeah, you get decked out, and everybody meets because most of the time you only have a few people you hang out with the summer. And you haven't seen some of the other kids.
Right.
I get to the bus stop with the other kids in the neighborhood, and he shows up. His dad drops him off, and he gets out of his car, and he has the full Michael Jackson top to bottom leather zipper. He even did his hair in a way where it kind of try to mimic Michael Jackson. And
Wow.
this is a white gentleman, and right when he got out of that car and everybody kind of looked, instead of the reaction of the Hollywood red carpet where all the cameras start going off, it was the most embarrassing, humiliating moment.
Oh man.
I definitely feel in that particular part of his life, because he had the smile.
Sure.
It was almost like slow mo when I reflect on it, And he was just like, chest out and look at me. I'm better than all of you because I have the full garb. And everybody
Oh
just kind of
man.
shook their head and went, dude, what are you doing? And from the,
Hey, Mikey,
yeah,
where's
yeah,
Tito?
exactly. And then from the confidence, he shriveled,
Oh
bam.
man.
And he just, I felt sorry for the guy. And obviously he
Yeah.
was my friend, and I tried to teach him, like, dude, you didn't have to you didn't have to roll
Yeah.
up to
Come
the
on,
bus
man.
stop like this. I'm
That's a
happy.
little overkill,
I'm
bro.
happy you look like because remember at the time it was MTV. MTV just came out, so that was kind of the
Yeah,
influence
yeah.
on all the kids' brains. Like, oh, we want to be like the MTV music video people.
Yeah, but nobody could do that for like 5 years.
Yeah, yeah,
For a while, that just shit only happened on the streets of New York City. You know what
exactly,
I
exactly.
mean?
And I try to console them as much as I could because all the kids were just there ripping at him. And obviously, I had my laugh. I'm human, but at that point on the ride to school, I was protecting them. I was just like, "Hey, come on, guys, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah.
Just let the guy,
All right.
yeah,
You know.
let the guy be." Anyways, as our time grew and I lived in Southern California at the time. Then we moved out to the islands. We lost contact with each other, but I kind of knew how his family was conducting their affairs. So it was more of the, you know, we're going to try to keep everything prim and proper. No critical
He went to
feedback.
Stanford.
Yeah, no critical thinking. Just kind of like everything's here. Everything's on the silver
Right.
spoon. Here you go. Here you go. Because if we do it like that, then he's going to end up like us. And
Follow these steps and take
yeah,
over our stuff.
and I actually reconnected with him probably about 8 years ago, and it's bad news, man. He has been kicked out of his family. Um, he turned into a meth head, man.
Yeah.
He got hooked to the bad stuff. He actually before he did that he was doing some landscaping business, but all those different thought processes that he was developing in, and how he I guess was not guided in a certain way. Uh, maybe came up with entitlement in his
Yeah.
mind that he was above other people, and he had
It probably was
he had the
told that
armor.
by his mommy.
Exactly.
Oh, honey, you're my little baby and you're the best. And,
So it's unfortunate. I wish this on no one, and the only reason why I tell this story
yeah, that's not great.
is not to put this particular guy in the hole, but to let it be known that again the way you think and how you conduct yourself, how you treat the people around you, and
Yeah.
at times you do have to get aggressive and go, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Wake up, and if that's not for somebody else that you care or love for, it definitely has to come to yourself. And I've had many of those moments myself where he would be like, what are you fucking doing, man?
Yeah,
Get your shit together, bro, and
me too.
get going, get moving. Don't dwell. It is what it is. This is where you're at. This is where you need to go. So let's get the ball started. Let's get
Yeah,
the ball rolling.
sometimes you gotta just one foot in front of the other, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Some people have a hard time. A lot of people have a hard time these days. Especially a lot of the young generation that I've seen. And I'm actually trying to get some people in that age group on the show because I want to try to pick the brain of in a forum that has no boundaries or you're not being judged.
Well,
Why do you think
and
the way you do?
those the everybody after. Well, I guess after X had such a different generational. I mean, when we were still, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
That they were, corporate headquarters were trying to get management to read new management style books, and because a new wave of people, think about that for a second.
The 1 minute manager. I remember that.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of them, and 7 Habits, and all these things, right?
Yeah.
And it was this big wave of like how to deal with like a new mindset.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't really. I thought it was kind of weird that we had to think about that and do it then. And now I think it was, hindsight. I think that was a ridiculous idea.
It was. I think it was.
I think socially, nationwide, that was a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah.
we should have had like every other generation before. You need to conform to what needs to be done, and then improve, and then you can change and improve upon the paradigm. But if you just come in refusing to do the work the way the business is run,
Yeah.
It's just weird to think that at a corporate level, someone made the decision, so what we need to do then, you know what, we should change. Let's just change what we do.
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about?
Maybe before you make that change, though, ask some of the experts. And most of the time, the experts aren't
thought process, right?
put into the forum.
The same people that want you to, the program works. You must follow the system. It's done this way. It's how you reach these numbers. ...
Yeah.
But philosophically, let's just rewrite it. That's not a solid. And I would bet if we could get into a corporate boardroom somewhere,
yeah,
I bet they'd look back to about 1990 something and go, yeah, what the hell why did we do that?
What were we thinking?
Who did that help?
If they were thinking at all.
Who did that help?
Most of the time they try to help the bottom line, and I think a lot of the focus with corporation that I see that's changing in the human resources area in business is more of the focus is on the people, developing strategies as well as different benefit packages
which is not a bad idea.
Which is where these things need to go, because that's that's I wouldn't say trend, but that's how we're evolving as a
It's like
as
we
a
should
community.
have just skipped the 20 years before that and got right to this part.
Yeah, but
never mind trying to reinvent the wheel. Just what we need to do is benefit the employees in this manner.
Yeah.
They still got to do this job, but we're going to do it this way, and offer these,
solutions.
Paths. Yeah. As opposed to, as soon as someone didn't want to take the path, they changed the game. You just changed the path.
Yeah. Be flexible. That's another word. I think it's okay to keep to your core on your belief on whatever you're doing. But as time goes on, environments and social structures change. So you gotta move with those punches.
There were hints that society will adhere to the standard placed before it. Like at one time, I don't know what the current business model is, but at some point there was a restaurant that opened that just only did dinner, and there was plenty of people that thought, "No way."
You can't do that. That's crazy.
They can't do it. But what happened? They were just fine, because they had a plan and they executed a plan.
Yeah. And it fit what their needs were.
But I mean, I like the way. The best part of any of the leadership positions that I've ever had was really the people, man. It's only cool to be in charge when you work with cool people. You know?
Yeah.
It's not fun if you have a bunch of negative Nellies and you have to constantly coax people to do the simplest tasks.
Yeah.
You know, that's a no fun situation for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with just a couple positive thinking people, you know, that are upbeat and trying to just keep life rolling, you can, you know, you can affect the mood. You can see it's a great little, restaurants are great little social examples.
Yeah.
You know, each one is its own little society.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and when you walk into a happy one, you can feel it.
You can feel the
You can
vibe.
tell.
Yep.
You know you're in a cool place or a scary place or a, you know, oh, I bet, you know, wow, that bartender's really happy.
A place
You know,
where people may not care anymore. It's the clock in, clock outers.
It's easy to tell.
Yeah, you can feel it.
But it's usually, you know, positivity's in there, man.
Yeah.
You know, the people that are trying to do good and be good and enjoy they last longer.
Being recognized as well as put into the positions where they can influence others. Because as you know, whether you think positively or negatively, you know, those attitudes are contagious, and it could flow any which way, depending on who has the bigger stick during the shift or you know, whatever the year is.
That's right, man. Hey, listen, I've had to make a couple tough calls, and one that I'm sure you're familiar with. I was just, you know, there's been a point in my life where I just wasn't feeling the positive vibes and wasn't in a position that's not good.
Yeah.
You have to be positive in a position such as that. And, you know, I was like, I'm not gonna be part of this. I'm not gonna watch this thing happen. I'm gonna give somebody a chance that has a, you know, I need to get my shit straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And you know, hey man, that's just one other little place. That's just one stone on the path. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like you said, everybody has a book. It's just, I think it would behoove us all to review a few chapters every now and then, just to make sure you're not, you know, drifting too far off of where you want to be.
It's part of the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your ride can be smoother if it's a coherent, like, purposeful ride.
And the book needs to be exciting. So
yeah,
definitely those.
And it will be, man. I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody that just has had nothing happen to them, and you know?
Not the interesting people. You know, I've known people that keep it straight and narrow and not take any risk, and think that these things are conducive to what they do. And again, no judging. That's the way you want to live your life. Keep it safe as much as you can. More power to you.
In their little safety zone is their whole experience.
Well, the one
and they could write about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a full experience for them.
Well, the other thing,
if they needed more, they would go get it.
The other thing, though, that worries me about that is, as we know, where there is the good, there is the bad. So
that's right.
The other thing that worries me is if they're always projecting. I'm sorry, worry is the wrong word. I don't waste time worrying. But the challenge is with people that think in that term is. My instinct tells me that they're hiding things. My other instinct tells me that this could be like a Jeffrey Dahmer type of personality, because on the outside they're projecting, I never, my shit doesn't stink, and I shoot rainbows from my eyes, and what I touch is gold. And again, I'm not the judging type, and I'll be like, oh, okay, but I gotta,
get on you
to hashtag truth this motherfucker. In the back of my head, I always have this I wonder what kind of sick shit this motherfucker's up to. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
this guy's
Because
a cat killer
it
or
has
some
to definitely be pretty bad if that's
fucking.
the persona that you're selling to the world and people are buying it. No way. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You know, and that's always been a, you know, I don't know a lot of people like that, but I've seen that in my travels. And
Yeah.
if that particular situation was going left, I would always find myself going right and going, okay, later.
Gets you cats on the other side.
I'm not even gonna touch that. I'd
Yeah.
I'd rather be with you know the you know, people that are watching this show as well as yourself, that can have the humbleness to talk story and say, yeah, I fucking did that. I
Yeah.
I fuck I fucking did that, and it was stupid. It was way
That was
stupid,
dumb.
but
That was dumb.
you know,
I lived through it.
here I am today, and I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't gone through it and my mind wasn't intact the way it was. And
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm an excellent world traveler. If you want to hit someplace and be safe on any side of town, anywhere, you know, I'm a cat you can cruise with.
yeah,
But how do you think I got that way?
yeah, it just
I made a lot of left turns when I should have turned right. I mean, you know, I went straight when I should have just stopped.
yeah.
I've been in, you know, a lot of situations where, you know, very dicey.
Let's say your hand got burned a couple of times, right?
Keep reaching in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna.
But, you know, no harm, no foul. I wasn't out to harm anybody. And as far as I know, I didn't.
And I think that's key.
So, you know, yeah.
That's key with people.
Hey, I honestly believe that's protected me quite a bit because having been in a lot of those places, I've seen, you know, not me, but somebody my age, the me from someplace else, let's say, wandering around this foreign city, and doesn't work out great for this guy.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's not. Maybe he wasn't putting out great vibes. You know what I mean? Maybe he wasn't a positive dude in the first place. Maybe he was looking for a little bit of that negativity.
Maybe you went to the wrong side of town and thought you were somebody else.
Well, one thing that's true, you know, one saying that's true and, you know, proven that I'm aware of anyways, is that if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so keep that in mind, everybody, positive, because also if you're projecting positivity, you know, that's like a magnet too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Positive sticks to positive, you know, and so if you're looking positive, you're seeing positive.
Yeah. And understanding when those positive things happen, because my other standpoint on that type of mindset is sometimes these positive manifestations or aspects don't come easy. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be faced with adversity that's like in the short term. You look at it and you're going, son of a, this is this is the mountain I have to climb, and this is the wall that I have to burst through. And it will not be possible if your mind is thinking the impossible. It just,
if you say you can't do it, you can't do it.
There was a great. I was watching a clip of one of the UFC fights last weekend, and they're breaking down what was happening, and it was a woman match, and one of the clips they had was this girl was obviously getting her ass kicked throughout the whole ordeal, and the last round when she was getting up, she had gotten up and she looked at her coaches and went, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm already done. I'm done. That was kind of her words. Her coaches, however, said, no, you're not done. You're just, and they kept pushing. So the fight went on. You know, she definitely lost. But one of the commentators who is a fighter, and this is not only with fighting, but this is in everyday life, is once it gives up here,
it's up.
it's gonna not work. On the flip side, if you keep it mentally
That's
strong
right.
and push through it and get over
Don't quit.
yeah, don't quit, get over these adversities, kind of try to take the lesson, and as tough as it may be at the certain time, let it be known that if you keep going in this direction, the time will change, the
That's right.
situation will change in your favor and manifest itself. Maybe not 100% of what you were hoping, but it's going to be a lot better than where you were
Yeah.
previously and where you could have been.
And you will have done it.
Yeah, and you will have accomplished the growth, and you can also reflect and go, damn, if I didn't do that, that's where I would be.
I'd be back there right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a very that's another thing I wanted to throw out there to the people that are watching. That
Positivity, man,
it's just
real.
it's just not a Cracker Jack box. It's just not like okay, let's take the positive candies and woo, everything's good, blah blah blah. Let's go to town. Yeah.
You got to eat the almonds too.
You gotta do that, and you gotta work at it. It's discipline. It's trying to motivate others around you, and then keeping yourself in check, because you will have pitfalls. You will be like,
And you know what? Something that we don't maybe say often enough, but is definitely true. It's worth it.
oh yeah, it it is worth it.
Anybody who's ever been, really down and lived through it knows that it's so much better to not be down.
Yeah, especially if you've earned it and you've gone
Yeah,
you've
gotta,
gone through the trial,
and you
and
stay positive,
you stayed positive,
you can make it out.
yeah, and you can tell the story. And that's we've had a lot of those conversations here on the show, and we'll definitely have more of these in the future, because that's what makes that's what makes your character. And I think people that are watching this,
It's real, man. I think people, a lot of people, maybe everyone, I guess it's probably a human trait that we realize it, and we know that it feels good to be positive, and it's evident when you're happy, and it feels good, and everybody knows, it's pretty clear. But likewise, as soon as you don't feel great, and you might feel sad or depressed or down or upset or whatever it is,
yeah,
that's equally as heavy to you.
yeah,
And when you're in that moment, that's pretty much all you feel too. You know, hopefully you have it within you to decide to be positive, because really that's what it's going to take someday.
yeah.
If you're not there yet, I hope that you won't get there, but I'm sorry to say that you will. Someday you're going to have to choose. And the sooner you do it, the sooner it starts.
Yeah.
So
And
it's hard. It's hard, but it's worth it.
making the choice, and
You can have a happier life. And help more people around you enjoy happiness as well.
yeah,
Good breeds good.
whatever that happiness
Like
translates into, and that could be in many different forms. But I think you hit the nail on the head. Is you have to get into the process of making those decisions for yourself, and those first couple of steps are going to be tough. Those first couple of steps, you may fail miserably, and be like,
and which is totally cool.
yeah, and maybe,
because what were you doing anyways?
yeah, and maybe like you again, you want to give up, but those are the moments of truth where you need to dig deep and tell yourself, okay, I kind of heard this, or I read about this, and this is where it's going to count. So even though it kind of looks like this in this particular situation, I know if I keep moving this way,
and maybe I can't see what's going on right now, but I've heard other guys talking about it.
yeah,
Maybe let me I'm gonna call my friend and see what he has to say about it.
Seek help. Family's always a great
And
outlet.
help is such a relative word. Trust me when I say if you have a good question, it's going to help the person you're asking too.
Yes.
So, ask it, man. Find it out, because you can help yourself and your friend, and you can both be happier.
Yeah. And learn and move forward.
That's right, man.
That's
sharing and spreading the goodness, man, because, why would you do otherwise?
Yeah.
We live in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Everything you put out there is, you got to live with it.
Yeah.
You don't get to just throw your trash away and it disappears. You got to live with it. You got to burn it. You got to bury it. You got to do something with it.
Yeah.
But,
it'll collect. I wonder, sometimes because I'm a curious kind of George kind of guy, right? That, some of these other places on the planet where they don't have these choices, they're kind of contained where they have to do things, or they're
North Korea,
or they're gonna die. That's basically the other choice. So just be thankful that you are in a place where you can talk about these type of issues and learn from it, and be thankful that we're not somewhere where something like this is not possible. And I
how awesome is it that you have the opportunity to go sit at the beach or in the jungle or somewhere that there's nature around, observe your place in the world where you live, come up with your own thoughts and ideas about it, and then when you come back to your dwelling, you can share it with whomever you like and act on it in any way you see fit.
Yeah.
If you got some revelation of a new way to live or a new business to start or something, go for it, man.
Do it.
You're lucky you get a chance to do that. You, meaning all of us.
Yeah.
It's like you said, if you were in North Korea or some other places in the world, it doesn't matter what you think. You're not allowed to act.
You have to do.
Yeah.
Tough, but that those are kind of the card you're dealt with, and again, it's it all starts and ends right up here
right here, man,
in the cranium.
Your whole experience begins and ends right where you are right now.
And connects to the heart. That's one thing we haven't brought up in the conversation yet, is your heart and soul has a huge part to play as well in the thoughts that you think about.
Man, I saw the most awesome study and you just reminded me of it, and it's been so long since I saw it.
Is that heart memory?
And I'm not gonna. It's that, but there's more to it than that. We as humans actually lead with our heart. The first thing, even before brain recognition of something, there's an electrical. They detect the first thing that you your first boom. You lead with your heart.
I believe it.
I wish I could give this study justice.
Excuse me.
But yeah, it was fascinating to watch. The same thing about like how the heart has a memory, but they also think other organs do too.
Yeah.
Which leads them to believe that actually like tissue has
everything is
all
connected.
Of cells.
Yeah.
The cells themselves have, not necessarily the organ.
Yeah.
But yeah, how crazy would that be to, like, I don't know, have a car crash and need a kidney and get a kidney, and then all of a sudden have memories of being,
somebody else
in Vietnam or something.
Yeah. And there are a lot of stories like that, and they're out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think they would call
the
that
level.
I think they would call that pseudoscience to the regular scientists.
the consciousness is the level of it. To know that the cells of your body, the organs in your body, have your experiences. Were somebody to get my heart and it did them any good and they lived with it for a while,
Yeah.
I don't know what would happen, but my heart would have it came from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's like part of me. It's in you, but it's part of me. It's weird.
I've seen some of those episodes where people do, you can do that as on your driver's license in different places. You can be a donor,
Right.
and
Donor.
some of these accidents that people have got into, it gets kind of emotional when they do the connecting where because you're
this is your sister's
person situation,
dude, it's got your sister's liver.
They've given life to somebody else, and I've watched these stories and how people connect, and the way that it happens is so natural. Where that just to build onto what you just said, it's not like they meet and they go, "Is this really the person? Are you sure? Can I verify those documents?" It's kind of like it's a force that's unknown. They meet and they embrace, and it's just like,
and they tear up.
Yeah,
and
it's just like, thank you, and that kind of goes beyond what we see, smell, hear, and feel. This is an energy. This is a whatever you want to call it. That's beyond your regular comprehension, and some people call it Jesus. Others call it Buddha. There's a definite force that's in the universe that makes these things possible, and miracles happen when the possible happens through the impossible. You know what I'm saying? And the stories are out there,
and it happens.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah, it's not an isolated incident.
It's not isolated. It's not it's not Harry Potter. It's not fiction.
Right.
There are miracles, ladies and gentlemen out there watching this. There are miracles that happen every day that are real, and it's from a higher force. It's from a higher power. And again, I don't want to say I'm not
a little out of our reach.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's this religion or that religion. I like to call it spirituality, and however you want to categorize it that works for you, do it. But you need to believe that it's real, because it is real. It does happen, and those are things even beyond the positive mind. Those are things that we cannot explain.
That's like the PhD of the positive mind, right? Like the you've made it. Positivity conquered your problem. I mean, that's pretty spectacular.
My twist is once you get to that level, then if there is a level, that the way we're looking at it it doesn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
it'll probably be like everything else in our life. By the time we get, it'll be like turning 70.
Yeah.
We'll look back on 40 and go,
finally,
silly kids.
Yep.
Exactly.
Silly kids.
That's what happens when you get some sort of a whole new knowledge base, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah. The thing is, I guess, to add on to that is you definitely have to believe. You have to believe these things need to happen, because if you don't, then that's the
likelihood is decreased exponentially.
That's when the manifestation or the miracle may not happen, because you're just thinking about plastic when it could be so much more than that.
And you only need to look in nature. If you can't find it spiritually, find it in nature.
Yeah.
Positives and negatives repel.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So,
You know, one of the stories that are coming out with this whole lava thing, or this whole volcano action happening in Hawaii right now. So if you've been following it, it's just going off. You know, it started off with
oh yeah,
three fissures. Now I believe we're up to 23 fissures. They're all kind of converging. They're hitting the ocean now. There's drainage from two different volcanoes that are meeting up. You know, it's really turning into this event that is building. There's a lot of different theories on what could happen. But one of the observations I made was with a lot of the interviews they're giving to people, the locals on the ground, is everybody's reciting Pele. They're like, when Pele wants something, Pele gets what she wants. And Pele is the goddess of the volcano that the Hawaiians believe in,
right.
who live there. And that's from old, that's from young, because a lot of these reporters are, how do you feel about the situation? And obviously they'll give their 2 cents, but in the middle of that dialogue, Pele is always kind of the, this is what she does. She created the
That's what
island.
happened.
She gave the island life for our ancestors, but she also will, change things in a way where it kind of looks like destruction at first, but
Shiva.
yeah, but the ultimate goal is to obviously create a new way, create new life, so it keeps moving forward. And
That's Hindu.
yeah, I thought that was kind of special.
Shiva.
Yeah, the god of destruction, right?
It's cool. Yeah, and creation.
And creation.
It's the same thing. I mean, it's not the same thing. One must happen for the other to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Pele, Shiva, it's fascinating. Isn't it amazing that all over the world, these people came up with they have their own stories, and they're told a little bit differently and everything. But if you really just strip it down, it's very close.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Really close.
Yeah.
So
I guess the bad rap that the destruction part gets is it's a thing that we want to avoid, or it's a thing that
right.
we're gonna try to run away from.
Well, you think destruction, and that's our you're not thinking anything good when you think destruction.
Yeah.
It's like
the
end of something.
Yeah.
But the enlightened person would say it's just the end of something. That means the beginning of something else.
Yeah.
Not the end of all things.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel that deep right here.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
We'll figure it out somewhere. I hope people can stay positive, man. There's a lot of crazy news going on, but people that care and are positive are the ones that can change it.
Yeah.
And make it better for everybody. So if everyone could please be positive people, we can have a better place to be.
And be responsible about it. Get out of your comfort zone and speak your mind and make that change where it needs to be done, and definitely start with yourself. That's always a good point. Becoming that more of a positive thinker, and let it be known that it's always not going to be just rainbows and cherries. You have to.
No, you have to deal.
You have to.
Got to deal with all of it.
Yeah, you have to embrace those times where it's not so fortunate for yourself. And I think sometimes people miss that message when things happen in their life. That at face value doesn't look like, obviously it's not a good thing, and be that in a aspect of health, in an aspect of career, relationship. You're looking at it at the particular point in time going, shit, man, fuck, this sucks, and blah, blah, blah. but I've come to learn, through some of my travels and experiences, that those are the times where you have to embrace it the most and go, okay, this is happening, because there will be something I'm going to lose, but it's something I don't need anymore in my life. That's going to create something better for myself, and which translates to people around you. And that's kind of the opportunity that I wanted. The other thing I wanted to share today about that particular thought process is sometimes these are the blessings in disguise. Where at the particular moment you're like, son of a, but as you reflect later, hindsight, as you said, you'll be like, wow, that I am where I'm at.
If I wasn't over there, then I couldn't have.
Yeah.
Whatever.
These things wouldn't have happened. So that's these are all things I hope everybody's maybe absorbing into their cranium today as part of our talk. Because you do have two individuals here.
Keep it on the up.
That have seen some things.
Yeah, man.
And we're not going to tell what as time goes on. You'll hear more of these stories.
I'm actually going to write a book, so
there you go.
You're only going to get some.
You're only going to get a little piece.
I'm going to sell millions of copies later.
Right. The travel. What would your book be called? You have any name?
God, I don't know, man.
You're not going to be.
No.
You're not going to be pretentious and call it Shelton. All right.
No. It's something like, I don't know. Farm kid.
Farm kid.
Farm boy. Farm boy travel.
I'm still sticking to my ultimate dream is to do a feature film of
that would be
of the events, and it's crazy. I have it on.
Well, that's the book, is writing the script.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly.
You got to write the script.
I got the journals. I have obviously the memory side and scars and expert witnesses that can attest to it.
I want the right of approval on any story with my name.
And I think it would be pretty damn hilarious, emotional.
There might be a couple from neighboring countries that I might want to leave out.
I would definitely have all those different things in there that are part of my life, that are part of the Howard experience, and part of it is this show that's going to be that's going to tie into this whole whatever you want to call it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
The fray. Yeah. Once more into the fray.
Exactly.
The only good fight you'll ever know.
We're going to dive in. We're going to talk about things. Cool. Excellent. So we're probably going to do another show with the MINDHEAD. If we're definitely going to meet up when Chris gets here, and maybe we'll do it at my place. We'll do the live talk in the same room, so to speak. So my thought process was we could still do the split screen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We could still do the split screen because I have other equipment where.
But we could be on a balcony.
Yeah, I can.
Or or wherever.
Or hit a beach or something. So that'll be kind of creative. We'll be somewhere else. So let's
maybe at James's place.
Yeah, maybe at James's place. So look forward to that, folks, with the next MINDHEAD talk. Like I had said earlier, we have some other guests that are coming that are lined up for the end of this month as well as next month. So keep tuned in and keep your self-salivated because we got a nice hopefully we can work it all out but definitely a great story that's going to be told about specifically faith as well as adversity and the positive mind. That's from one of the guests. The other one is more of the business aspect, young entrepreneurial, how he got there, what is he doing. Then lastly, what we have set up already that I have my books is a possible new blood into the legislature, and what he may divulge on the show. Who knows? But definitely, I feel that it'll be a change. It'll be something that you're not used to, and I think it's a very good positive step moving forward for the island. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to that guy.
Pretty stoked to get all these things worked out. Again, if you want to come on to the show, send us a message, send me a message, and we'll see what we can do to hook you up. There are some software and bandwidth issues that we need to speak about, but the list is not too big, and let it be known that I'm trying to work out other ways through other type of devices to develop the show and expand the reach.
And it seems like we're getting a little closer.
Yeah.
On at least one option.
Yeah, definitely. So we're headed in the right direction, and the show's made possible through interaction and people viewing and talking story. Obviously, there's no. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi Cola or it's all free.
But if you're interested,
yeah, it's all out there, and that's why we talk the way we talk, because we don't have any strings attached, and there are no boundaries at the Howard Experience. We want to interact with people. We want to hear what they have to say. If I get a guest on one day that may be talking some smack and this and that, hey, it is what it is, and you can either take the talk and make it change the way you feel, in a good way or a bad way. So that's the other dynamic that we have laid out for us, and that's what we appreciate about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Work it out.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
Stay positive.
There is a positive solution.
Yep. There is. There always is.
But we all need to find it together.
And with that, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. If you're watching this live, thank you. Thank you for spreading the word. If you're going to watch this later tonight or later this week, excellent as well. Just share the love, and if you got anything out of the talk, and it definitely maybe puts you in a position where you can think about things in a different manner. If it freed your mind, then the intention was all worth it. Definitely follow us here on Facebook. We also have another page on Instagram that I post some different things, as well as you can follow me on Twitter, and all these different aspects of how we communicate are available. I've done a couple of podcasts already that you can find on iTunes that you can download. Just look for the Howard Experience. There's only 2 so far, and obviously I'm going to spend some more time to do the podcast for the people that are driving, get stuck in traffic, or they're at their job site and they can't watch a video, so they just use the earbuds to listen to the conversation. So the access is there. We're still developing. We're making things happen, and we appreciate everything that's happening to ourselves as well as the people that are watching. So again, thank you.
Roger that. Trying to speak freely.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay positive.
Exactly. Okay, right, folks. Man.
So I'm going to catch you soon then.
I'll see you soon, brother. And we will transmit our other show from live from Guam, USA. I hope everybody has a great Wednesday here in Guam. And, keep it real. And stay safe, everybody.
Peace out.
We'll see you next time on the Howard Experience. Peace.